God bless the missionaries. That seems to be a one phrase catch all we add to our prayers when we're praying for our missionaries. Our missionaries, whether on the field, on deputation, on furlough, they depend on us to take their needs to God in prayer. They need our encouragement. But in order to do this effectively, we actually have to think about our missionaries specifically. We have to know who they are. First of all, ask yourself this question. Who are the missionaries my church supports financially? Do you even know? In the next few weeks, I would like to share with you some ideas of how you can be a help and an encouragement to your missionaries, how you can help yourself become more aware of your missionaries and their needs. God's servants need our prayers. They need our encouragement and our love. And so let's think about our missionaries today. First of all, once you find out who your missionaries are, make a list. Now, depending on the size of your church, you may need to list your missionaries by region. Our church financially supports 27 different missionaries, so I feel like I can list all of them. And I list them alphabetically, and then I quiz myself. And I have a list, and I start writing them down by memory, and I go in alphabetical order, and that helps me to remember. Then when I count and realize I'm shy of 27, then I've missed somebody, and go back and try to see who I have missed. And it's a good thing for us to know who our missionaries are. We're giving through faith promise, we're praying, but do we know who they are? Then, secondly, read their prayer letters. Our missionaries send letters out, whether monthly or quarterly or semi-annually. They send these letters, they take the time so that we will know the good things that are happening, the needs that they have, their family needs, their progress that they're making. Maybe a new child's been added to the family. Read the prayer letters. It will really help you to understand your missionaries. And you can get the emails personally. Sometimes churches will have a bulletin board and they have your missionaries letters posted there, but you can subscribe to the missionaries email yourself. That way it comes directly to you. You don't miss a letter, and you can keep up with them and correspond with them that way. Their prayer cards. Many missionaries will have a prayer card as they come through. They'll send them to you. They'll leave them on a table for you. Take those prayer cards, maybe make a photo album out of them. When our children were little, we had a photo album of all of our missionaries. I recently came across that photo album and realized it's been about 20 years ago, and many of the missionaries' children are out of their home now, and they're actually on the mission field, and it was fun to look at those memories. But the prayer cards are a great way as a view to see the missionary, not just by a name. If you have children, they can relate with the children that are on the prayer card, and it will help them. Maybe put them on the refrigerator, or there are so many ideas that you can have. You could put them in a file and put them on the table and go through them during your family devotions and pray for one a week or a day or a month, whatever your idea is. But the fact is, you need to have something in front of you to remind you, because we're so forgetful. I noticed I was in the home of one of our children, and on the refrigerator is a list of all of the missionaries that our church supports, and there's little check marks by them. That makes me know that they're praying for our missionaries. What a great way to see, oh, there's not a check mark by that one. We need to cover that missionary this week. So there are so many ways. Be creative and find ways that you can remember to pray for them. Using the prayer cards is a great way. Now, where are they serving? You can look up on Google Maps, many other things that you can look up on your phone and on your computer to find out where they're actually serving. Look up the name of their church and find it and zoom in on it. We have modern technology is amazing. You can see the churches, the villages, the streets, the markets, the places where they're shopping, where they're driving. Some of the roads that they drive on are just ridiculously scary, and you can know how to pray. Maybe they're in a remote area, maybe they're in a very metropolis area. It helps you to understand what your missionaries face on a daily basis. And so look at Google Maps, find them on the map. Look at the time zones. You realize that all around the world, the time zones are differently. On my phone, I have a world clock, and I currently have all of the time zones that our missionaries are serving in saved in that world clock. So when I look to see, ooh, I'd like to message so-and-so, I look to see, now today in Dublin, it is 5 hours beyond where I'm at. So right now it's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So it's 7 o'clock there. It would be appropriate for me to send a message to my missionary friend there. But if it was 9 o'clock at night, that would not be an appropriate time for me to send them a message. I don't want to wake them up in the middle of the night. That would certainly not be an encouragement to them, especially those who have small children. They've just fallen asleep and they have their phones on because they have ministry and they have to keep their phones on for their people. So be careful with that, but find the time zones, know where they're at. Many times when we're praying for a church service, their church service has already concluded and they're into the next day. One of our missionaries is 18 hours after us. And so their Sunday is over when ours is beginning. And so the time zones help you to understand where your missionaries are living, as well as a weather app. I have a weather app on my phone, and I have my missionary friends, and I have their weather on my phone. So when I look today in Rogers City, it's 36 degrees. Yes, it's April, and it's 36 degrees. But in Nigeria, where my friend is serving, it's 97. So I don't need to pray for them to be warm today. I need to pray for them to find cool shade and to be a good hydration and those kinds of things. So it's important to know, what is the time zone? What is the weather? Those are things that help us to pray specifically. And then communicate. That's the last thing we'll talk about today. Communicate with your missionaries, whether it be on WhatsApp. WhatsApp is a free international communication. I can video message, I can talk, I can text, and it's free to me. I have a lady in Haiti. She just had a baby this last week, and we were able to send pictures and videos, and I could see little baby, and it was so special, and it's free, and I would not have known had we not had that availability. So communicate with your missionaries. There's always a social media outlets of Twitter and Facebook and Snapchat and Instagram, all those things. I don't really use all of those things, but I do love the WhatsApp. I love the emails. The missionaries, many of them have blogs and vlogs, and I love to follow that, to watch that. I can see, recently I saw a gender reveal that one of the missionaries shared with us on their vlog. Those are ways that you can get to know your missionary. They're real people serving just somewhere else. So take the time, get to know who your missionaries are, and then we'll talk more about ways you can communicate, how you can pray, what are some specific things you can do, some things you can add to your life that would help you to help them. So until next time, getting to know your missionaries.